Okay. So, in the interest of the time, okay, so, and the topic is a little heavy, okay, so I would like to start with the class. The topic is basically life at crossroads. Okay. So, we, in our every day-to-day, we were always put in a choiceable situation. We have to choose between, either 1, 2, 3, 4 options that we have. Either 1, 2, 3, 4 options that we have. So there is always, mind which comes into play, and it will decide which option to choose. Okay. So let's say, I wanted to go from one place to another. There is always a shorter path. There is always a longer path. Okay. But if you don't know which one is better for you, okay, you might choose the wrong path saying that it's a shorter. You will take a shorter path and probably you will start with, a lot of traffic. Okay. Eventually, long path might have been, right, or sometimes other way around. So, what I'm trying to say today is basically about how to choose a path, what actually decides which path we are choosing, and what are the scriptural references that we have towards this path. Okay. What are the scriptural references we have towards choosing whether it is a short path, long path, what is that which we need to choose? So if you can see here, in normal situation today, in today's life, what do? If we have to go to a particular place, we open Google Map or we will open Waze and we will see, even though it is shorter, whether it is taking me to right time or is going to take a longer. So we take a help of a device which knows more than us. Okay. So in the life, also we have a similar situation. We are in multiple times cross paths. Okay. Crossroads. And we don't know which path to be chosen. So there is a spiritual reference. Probably if you can go to the next slide. Okay. So it is from Bhagavad Gita. So we all know that Bhagavad Gita 18 chapters are there. This is a reference from 18th chapter, one of the last shlokas. Okay, 63 shlokas, 63rd shloka. What this shloka is talking about? Okay, so we are not going to recite full shloka in a normal way because of the time. Okay, so what this shloka is talking about, 18.63 is Itite gnana makyatam guyataram maya Vimarshayetat asisheshena yadeshyati tata kuru. So what is, the translation of this by His Holiness Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada says, thus I have explained to you the most confidential of knowledge. He has explained, in all the chapters of 1, 2, 3, 4, up until, 18.62, he has explained everything. Okay, all the sacred knowledge he has explained. Okay, and he's saying, you deliberate on it. I have given what I have to give to you. You deliberate on it and then decide what you want to do. Okay, he's not saying that I told you, you do this. Okay, he's not saying that you follow me. He's saying that I have given you all the knowledge that is required. Okay, all the secret knowledge, all the sacred knowledge. Okay, now he's asking, you deliberate on it, you think about it. Okay, and you decide what you want to do. Okay, what you should do. Whatever you want to do it, you do it. But you think about whatever the deliberations are doing. So why is he saying that? He's saying that because every human being has a free will, okay, to decide what you want to do. Similar to the crossroads. So you have a crossroad, you have 2 paths, 3 paths, 4 paths. You can decide which path you want to go. But you can decide. It is not somebody is going to come and tell you that you go on this path. Okay? You have to decide by yourself. Now, what is important is basically the knowledge. What Krishna is saying is, I have given the knowledge of all the, secret information. Now use that and you decide. Okay? Similarly, now what we are doing when we are going from point A to point B, we are looking at Google Maps, we are looking at Waze, okay? If you are so confident about, based on the past experience, you are simply taking a decision, okay? So, this is the difference, and we will go to the next one. Here, what Krishna said is basically you have the knowledge, you decide, okay? And we have taken a decision, okay? Many of the people, okay, today, go to the temple or, different pilgrim places, or even, church, or, wherever, mosque, okay? They have only one question most of the times. Okay? First of all, people doesn't go to temple or any other place, just like that, okay? When they are in need, when they are in trouble, they only go. And when there are people are in the trouble and when they go, they ask only one question. Okay, why am put in this particular place? Why only me? Why not other person? Why in professional situation? Okay, I am equally working as other person. Okay, why that person is progressing to higher roles? Why I am not? Okay, so it's always about why I was put into this situation. Why I am in this kind of circumstances. Okay, so what we have to understand here is the whole world is actually a beautiful science which is created by Krishna. Okay, so you are in this situation today, or I am in this situation today. It is because my past decisions which I have taken. Okay. It is not that you are in this particular situation and you are dealing with it. Okay, so you are in this situation whether it is good or bad or ugly. Okay, whatever the way it is. Okay, it is just because your past, decisions, past, crossroads which you have chosen. Okay, now we are in what we are right now. Okay, if you want to have a better future in the future. Okay, if you want to have a better life in the future, you have to make right decisions now. Okay. So these right decisions, whatever we are going to take, which is actually going to dictate your future. Okay? It's like this, it's common sense also, right? When we, if we assume that we are going from point A to point B, okay, and you took a decision based on this is very short, it's only 2 kilometers, other way is 10 kilometers, okay. But you didn't have the knowledge of traffic jam and midway, so what will happen? It will eventually take more than 10 kilometers time. Okay. So you are the owner of your decisions. Okay, you have to take the responsibility of your decisions. So that's where the knowledge is very important. And as Krishna says, okay, I have given everything now. It's up to you. Okay. So here your past choices will actually put you in present context. Okay, and your present free will decisions will actually make your future. Okay. So if you can go to the next one, Prabhu. Okay. So this is little bit more into again scriptural science. The same thing whatever we discussed is more little bit into scriptural science. The same thing, a shortcut and a long path. Okay, is defined with two different terms called prayas and shreyas. Okay. Prayas is basically kind of a shortcuts, okay, where it will give you short-term results, quick results, okay. It will give you immediate pleasures, very mind satisfied results, sense gratificated results. Okay, the other one is, if you can see Shreyas, it's a path which is longer, which is difficult, okay, and you can see that he will climb so many stairs all the way to go there, while he's simply walking a very shortcut on the other side. Okay, so the shortcuts are termed in spiritual language, or in the Sanskrit language, is basically prayas. Okay, other ones are shreyas. So one thing what we need to also remember is what is prayas is nothing but what I like to do. What I would like to do is actually prayas. Okay. And what is shreyas is what is right to do. Okay. So it sounds very similar. What I like to do and what is right to do. Like and right. Okay. It sounds very similar, but actually there is a huge difference. Okay. So what I like to do and what I like to do, we will go through a few examples. Okay. And I took one example here of a flight. Okay. A simple flight. which goes every day from one place to another place. Okay, so if you have traveled in the flight, you know the flight, there are two important things for the flight, right? One is takeoff and landing. Remaining all is most of the time it is stable. So whenever a flight takes off, it goes all the way till 30,000 feet, which is 10 kilometers almost. Okay, and then it travels whatever the distance is supposed to be, and then again it will come back to the land on any other airport. Okay. So this guy is always taking flight. He's a pilot. Okay, he's taking the flight, flying the flight 30,000 feet, and going to the destination and landing. So one day he thought, why I should take struggle to go all the way till 30,000 feet. Okay, I can do the same thing at 10,000 feet, 20,000 feet as well. Okay, why should I go to all the way to 30,000 feet? Okay, so unnecessarily I need to go up, climb up, and then travel the distance. Then again I need to climb down, right? So let's say for an example, he took a flight. Okay, this time only to 10,000 feet high. Okay, do you think he will reach the destination? How many of you think he will reach the destination, or he will reach the destination even faster than 30,000 feet? Anybody think that he will reach faster because he's not climbing all the way 30,000 feet? He's only climbing 10,000 feet. Ideally speaking, he should save time and then he should reach faster. But what he is ignoring is basically the disturbances. Okay, the disturbances along the way, which is available at 10,000 feet, okay, is far higher than the disturbances that we have at 30,000 feet. Okay, 30,000 feet, you don't have impact with the climate. Okay, you don't have thunderstorms. Okay, the sky is very clean and calm. Okay, even there is a storm which is going on in the below. Okay, you won't feel effect a bit on the 30,000 feet high. Okay, so because of disturbances, even though you took off right, okay, you want to land at right point in time, if you don't have the right trajectory, okay, what will happen? You may not reach the destination, right? So another example is, if you have seen some old, movies, okay, where bow and arrows are used, right? If, I'm sitting in one, I have all my army, and there is another army in front of me, okay, and before the war, what they will do, they will actually aim, okay. So the angle of arrow is always somewhere around 45 degrees, okay. They will not put like this, they will not put like this, they will only put 45 degrees, and that's the maximum distance it will be. Okay. What will happen, if it goes, straight up all the way till 90 like this, what will happen? The arrows will go up and it will only kill their own army, right? So if you put it straight, it will not even go far. It will probably go only half of the distance and then it will follow. Okay. So in order to reach the distances, okay, it is very important that we need to have right angle, right trajectory. Okay. If you don't have right trajectory, okay, either you kill yourself, okay, or you will fall in between. Okay. So it's important in any journey, okay, right trajectory is very important. So if you go to quickly next slide, okay, so just completing the previous example. Scientifically, if you're not going to 30 feet high, 10,000 feet high, you're only at 10,000 feet high, the plane will crash because it has to deal with a lot of headwind, a lot of distance, and it will not have enough fuel to go all the way till down, and it will definitely crash. Okay, that's what it is saying. And if you can go to another slide, the next one. The next one. You can go one more. Yes. So you understood that the trajectory is very important to go to the distance, to go to right places. Now I would like to take another example, because I said in one of my slides in a bit before, what did I say? You are today what you are is because of your past action, okay, or past decisions which you have taken, okay, and you are also today so many decisions you need to take, okay, for which you will be responsible in the future, right? So let's take another real life example. What will happen? How it will work? Okay. So let's say I go to Video Bank. I have my account there. I go there and I ask them, I need a credit card. Okay. Nowadays, if anybody wants a credit card, they will give just like, so thank you very much, take a credit card. Okay. So I take the credit card, I used it, I did not pay up. Okay, they keep calling me, reminding me, etc., etc., etc. Okay, I did not pay up. So what they will do? They will block my credit card, right? Then they will block my credit card. Now, okay, in the world there are so many banks. Why do I need to worry only about BDO? Okay, I will go to BPI. I open another account. I ask for a credit card. What will happen? Do you think they will give the credit card to you? Because both of them are two different banks. Okay, I had a very bad, transactions with BDO, but I'm in a new bank right now. I don't have any transactions. I started my account fresh. Okay, and I'm asking for the credit card, and they refused. Why? Because there is something called credit history, credit score. Okay, no matter how many banks you go to, you will not get a credit card because they always refer to a credit history, a credit score. Okay. So if you haven't paid your credit card properly, then they will reduce your score in the credit history. Okay. And if you go to new bank, when you ask for a credit card, okay, they will ask what is your credit score. They will go and get the credit score, and if you see that it is yellow or red, they will not even care to entertain you to give a credit card or bank loan or anything. Okay, because your past deeds actually play into it. Okay, in the life also it's the same thing. Okay. We may think that I'm just 15 years old or 18 years old person. I haven't done any sin in my life so far. Nothing. Okay. But why am I suffering now? It is not just this lifetime, it works. It's like BDO and BPI. It's two different lifetimes. Okay. But your karma carries from one bank to another bank to another bank. Okay. Because there is something superior which is called a credit score, karma score. Okay. So don't think that in this life I am so pious. Okay, I did not do any mistake. Okay, I did not harm anyone. Okay, and why I am suffering? Okay, you are suffering. Or you are having a great life. It's not just because of this lifetime. It is also carried from the past time. Okay, so that's what this particular image sums up, where credit score versus karma score. Okay, so you may think that there is a person who is criminally very much involved, but he is very happy, very nice. Okay, maybe he will be nice this lifetime. Next lifetime he might suffer even miserably. So don't take any wrong examples to lead your life. Okay, you take the right references, right people. Okay, and right guidance, right knowledge is very, very important. Okay, so let's park these decisions and karma score or credit history aside. Let's go to a topic called goal. Okay. So what is goal? We will connect back whatever we discussed so far again with the goal in some time. Okay, but what is a goal? Goal is something like I want to achieve something in this particular given time frame or some kind of time lapse. Okay, I wanted to achieve something. That's what is good. Okay, so if you can go to the next one. If you ask generally 8 children, okay, what is your goal? Some people will come and say that I want to become a doctor. Okay, some people come and say that engineer, scientist, policeman, lawyer. Okay. There are so many professions that we have. Right? Let's say I ask some medical student and they said I want to become a doctor. Okay. Now, once you become a doctor after 5 years study, when you ask and say, you achieve your goal, okay, what is next? Okay. No, I became a doctor, but I want to become a good doctor. Okay. So then, after 4 more years of practice, you become a very good doctor, or she become a very good doctor. Then again you go and ask, you achieve your goal, what next? Okay. No, I wanted to earn money, okay, so that I can construct my own hospital. Okay, another 10 years passed, he had his own hospital, okay, and he can go and ask, okay, you achieve your goal, what next? Okay. So he will say that probably, okay, I have hospital and everything, now I want to have your family, I want to take care of my family and secure my family for future generations. Okay. The goal here is not clear. Okay, it is constantly changing. Today it is one, once you achieve there is another, once you achieve that there is another. Okay, so it is constantly going into circles and circles and circles, and it is never ending. Okay, now let's take one more example. Let's say, I will take a simple goal. I want to become healthy. This is my goal. I want to become healthy. Okay. So if I want to become healthy, okay, I am traveling on a particular road and I felt hungry. What I will do, I will simply not go to a restaurant and I will eat whatever I want, right? Why? Because my goal is basically I want to become healthy. So what you will do, you will basically put everything you try to take a decision, you will see that this is my goal, whether it is satisfying my goal or not. Okay. If I want to become healthy, whatever I am eating is right or wrong. Okay. So if it is wrong, I will stop eating. Right. So you will always connect your decisions, okay, with your goal. Right. So let's say if I want to become healthier, okay, I will think I need to go from one place to another place. Okay. I will think I want to become healthier. Do I need to spend in a taxi to go there, or should I use the public transport? Okay. So your decisions is always based on your goal. Okay. So that's why it is important that to have a right goal. If you don't have a clarity on the goal, basically you will not be able to make a right decision. If you have a clarity on the goal, then you will actually take the decisions centering around your goal. Okay. So that's why it's very, very important to have a right goal, to have a right decisions. Okay. When you take the right decisions, you will actually go to right places. Okay, which is right trajectory. Okay. So if you can go to the next one, this is what the conclusion which it is trying to bring. Basically, you are in a crossroads, and whatever the choices which you have in front of you is actually taken based on what goal you have. Okay. And your goal is something should be not constantly changing. Okay, it is just only valid for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Then again it is changing. So goal should not be like something a tactical. It has to be a strategical. Okay. So because if you have a goal for a life, okay, it has to be for a life. Okay. It is not like you achieve and then you are ending your life. Okay. So you need to keep your goal in a way that it is for a life. Okay. So how how we are going to put that kind of a goal that we need to see. Now we'll park this topic a minute and we'll go to another one. A simple one. Does anybody know Yaksha here? Yaksha? Can you raise your hands if you know Yaksha? You heard about this term called Yaksha? Not Daksha, Yaksha. Yaksha. Okay? So, Yaksha is a pastime again coming from Mahabharata. Okay. So, when Pandavas goes into exile off in the forest, okay, what happens is basically Pandavas, there are 5, right? Pancha Pandavas. Okay. So, the elder one, which is Dharmaraj, Yudhishthira, felt thirsty. Okay, he felt thirsty, and then immediately the younger one, who is the younger one, youngest one? In Pandavas, who is the youngest one? Sahadev. Okay. So Sahadev is the youngest one. So the youngest one goes, okay brother, I will go and get into the water. Okay. So he go to a pond, he will not come back. Hours passed. Okay. So the immediate brother, which is Nakul, got worried. Okay, brother, let me go and check with what happened with Sahadev, and let me bring you back, both in the water as well as Sahadev. Okay, he goes and he doesn't come. Okay. Then Bhima, the next in line is Bhima. Bhima goes again, he doesn't come. Then Arjuna goes, he doesn't come. Okay. Then that's where Dharmaraj was very worried. Okay, and he goes to the pond and he saw the lifeless bodies of all his 4 brothers. Okay, and that scene is basically, the whole scene is basically is portrayed as Yaksha Prashnas, the questions of Yaksha. Okay, so in that, Yaksha is one of the serpent king. Okay, and he comes out. Whenever somebody wants to take a water, he comes out and he will ask some questions, and then you answer all the questions. Okay, and then he will allow you to draw the water. Okay. So the 4 brothers of Dharmaraj, they were not able to answer the questions. Okay. So their life is lost. Now Dharmaraj was standing, and then okay, I will answer all your questions, but you need to make my brothers alive. Okay, then only I will answer all the questions. So there is some kind of treaty, and Yaksha started asking the questions. It is too many questions, by the way. It is 60 plus questions, too many. Okay, and one of the questions is very, very discussed, prominently discussed in various topics. What is that question? Is basically, what is the greatest wonder in the world? What is the greatest wonder in the world? If you ask Indians, you will say Taj Mahal, right? If you ask probably people in Europe, they will say, Eiffel Tower, okay, or Grand Canyon, okay. So what is the greatest wonder, right? What is the greatest wonder is the question. So probably the brothers of Dharmaraj also answered something, whatever is the greatest, which they think that it is superior, okay. But Dharmaraj answers what is greatest wonder. He explains every day, there are countless of people dying, countless of people dying. Relatives are dying, parents are, elders are dying, okay? Friends are dying, so many people are dying, okay? But yet, the people who remain in the world, they think that I will live here permanently. Nothing will happen to me. I am here forever, right? That's the mindset. Wonders, Dharmaraj. Okay? And this is the place probably other four brothers did not pass, and where Dharmaraj gave this answer, and yet it becomes very pleasing, and then after that he will continue asking another 40 plus questions, okay, which Dharmaraj answers everything. But you see, do we feel the same kind of world right now? There are people dying. We probably mourn for 7 days, 9 days, 15 days, 40 days based on religion which we are in, and then at the end of the day we forget and we believe that we are going to live long and we will continue, right? So that's the world which we are living in. Okay, so I'll bring one of my own story. Okay, my own story, which I heard from first hand. I was born in 1980, and this happened in 1979, 1 year before I was born. Okay, and how I am connected, I will explain. Of course, there were so many satellites. Even in 1970s, 80s, there were satellites going on top of the Earth, right? And then these satellites are orbiting Earth. And one of the satellites called Skylab, it has its technical difficulties, and it is coming back to the Earth. It's not coming back to land like a flight. It is falling. It is falling from the sky. So it was trajected basically where it will fall. It was falling somewhere near India, inside India, somewhere a place called Andhra Pradesh, and very clearly, the place where I was born, almost where I was born. Okay, so that's where this is a story which was told by my father and Janani's grandfather. Okay, so what they were saying is basically when they came to know about the Skylab is falling on their city. Okay, what they do? Of course, they cried. Okay, they hugged each other and all that. What is the next? Okay. What they did is basically they brought all the money which they saved back, and they started spending in charity. They started spending in austerities. They started spending in buying what they would like to eat. Okay, they thought now it's a short lifespan. Let me live the way I want. Okay, some people who are connected spiritually, they were always in yajnas or doing homas. Okay, some people who are fond of eating whatever they wish like. Okay, so they are spending all their money, they are helping other people, needy people, okay, just because, go to the next one, just because they realize that we are temporary. We are going to go one day, okay, and the day is very sooner, and that's why they started doing the right things. Okay. So it's important for us also, if you can go to the next one, it's important for us also to know that we are not here permanently. Okay, we are a guest. Okay, that's why we need to use the amenities given to us very properly, and we need to put it in right place so that the next person whoever is there, he is going to come and do it. Okay, so what we try to do is basically here, we try to do that we are getting crossroads every time, every now and then. The crossroads will come, but in order to decide which path, we need to have right knowledge. Okay, right knowledge Krishna says that I have given everything in 18 chapters. It's for us to read, understand. You need to have a good teacher, okay, Shiksha Guru, to teach you what it is so that you can make a right decision, okay. And for the right decision, the goal is very important, okay. And for the goal, you need to realize also that you are not permanent, okay. You don't need to think about your son, grandson, their grandson, okay. You need to think about your lifespan, and it is important that when you know that you are a short-term here, okay, a guest here, your way of thinking is completely different than when you believe that you are going to live a full long. Okay, so that's where I am saying here that first we need to learn about Krishna, Krishna's knowledge or any knowledge. Okay, and then we need to have a right goal, which is the phase 2. Then make the right decisions. Then you expect better outcome. Better outcome. Okay, so that's the most likely the end of today's class. Okay, but I would like to bring a challenge, a kind of a crossroads which is coming in front of us on this Thursday. Anybody knows what is this Thursday crossroad? Nirjala Ekadashi. Okay, so Nirjala Ekadashi is a crossroad. Why? Because it's very difficult to do. Right? It's what is your next month? Yeah. So first of all, for the people who doesn't know, Ekadashi means Eka means is 1 and Dashi means it is 10. Okay, so Ekadashi is basically it's 11 the day of a month. Okay, and Nirjala Ekadashi is the Ekadashi which comes on Jyeshtha month. Like we have January, February, we have in Sanskrit we have 12 months, and one of the month is Jyeshtha, and in the Jyeshtha month the first Ekadashi is basically Nirjala Ekadashi. Okay, and what is this Nirjala Ekadashi is basically you need to fast, or one need to fast, a full fast without eating anything. Okay, it is different from normal Ekadashi. Normal Ekadashi you don't eat rice or grains and beans, some other grains, etc. Right? But in Nirjala Ekadashi you don't eat anything and you don't even drink water. Okay, that's the very complicated or very tough austerity which is demanded in Nirjala Ekadashi. Okay, so we will quickly, I will not take much time, but I will quickly explain in the next one why in Ekadashi we should not eat grains. We will start from there and then we will go to what Nirjala Ekadashi. Okay, why in Ekadashi we should not eat grain is basically when Vishnu is manifesting the planets. Okay, in order to balance, okay, he creates something called Papa Purusha. Papa Purusha is basically a sinful man or a house which will hold all the sins. Okay, so that is a Papa Purusha. Just to maintain the equilibrium of both, he creates a Papa Purusha and he creates all the people and all the living beings, and he started accounting all the sins into the Papa Purusha, and he start giving the next life based on whatever it is. Okay. Then what happens is basically, did I miss something? Then what happens? I think I am talking about something else. So I will take a minute and I will explain this particular story. So Ekadashi name came from again a pastime. Okay, there used to be a demon called Mura. Okay, in Satya Yuga. Okay, so we have 4 yugas. Okay, so one of the first yuga is basically Satya Yuga. In Satya Yuga, we have one demon called Mura. And this demon is so powerful, like any other demons that we know of, Hiranyakashipu, etc., etc. And this demon already had a battle with Indra, and he won the battle. And he started, pushing all the, demigods and everybody, off their chairs, off their thrones. Okay, and all these demigods went to Vishnu, and they asked, please help us. Then Vishnu goes to the battlefield, okay, and he started fighting with Mura. And the battle did not go for 1 day, 10 days, it went for almost 10,000 years. Okay? 1,000 divine years. The battle goes all the way to 1,000 divine years, still battle is not done. So Vishnu become, little bit, loss of energy. He goes to Bhadrakamuni Ashram, okay, which is in Himalayas. Okay? And there is a cave called Himavati cave, and he goes in there and he starts staying there. Okay? And this Mura start finding, where is Vishnu, and he's going everywhere, he couldn't find, and finally he traced it back saying that he's in Bhadrakasha. Okay. And he was about to, come there and, use his weapon. Then suddenly what happens? Vishnu, from the Vishnu is still sleeping, he is in Yoga Nidra, okay? From Vishnu, there is a goddess which will come as an incarnation, okay? A goddess which will come, and the goddess, how many senses we have? 5 senses, right? We have 5 senses. But from Vishnu, using his 11 senses, okay, there is a goddess which will take incarnation. Okay, there are much more senses than what we think. Okay, people start about this talking about the 6th sense also. There was a movie as well, 6th sense. Okay, so there are so many senses. Okay, but here in this particular topic, the 11 senses of Vishnu, okay, takes an incarnation, okay, as a goddess, and that goddess is so powerful, so fearsome, and before this Mura even lifts his weapon, the goddess actually chopped his head. Okay. And yet, Vishnu is still in sleeping position. Okay. He is in Yoga Nidra. After some days or years, when Vishnu comes back, okay, to the normal mode, then he saw that there is a chopped head, and he was very pleased. Okay. So he names the goddess as Ekadashi. Why? Because she was born with the 11 senses, okay? With the power of 11 senses, she was born. That's why the goddess named as Ekadashi. And he gives a boon as well, okay? While I name you as Ekadashi, okay? So whoever fasts on this particular Ekadashi, they will get the benediction. They will get ultimate salvation, okay? So this is what the boon which is given to Ekadashi. That's why Ekadashi is very prominent, okay? And Ekadashi is very important that we need. So then we come to the Papa Purusha. Papa Purusha is basically is a person, okay, to balance the equilibrium. He was created by Vishnu. But when Papa Purusha was controlling all the gauging all the sins of the people, and then creating what the next life will be, okay. So then in between of this particular period, the Ekadashi's incarnation happens, okay. Now, since Ekadashi is incarnated and people know that whoever fast, they will be relieved from all the sins, and then they will go to the ultimate salvation. Okay, so there is no work for Mr. Papa Purusha. He is workless. He doesn't know what to do. Then he goes to Vishnu and he begs, dear Lord, I am Papa Purusha, but I don't have any sins. Everything is they are getting it deposited and immediately they are wiped off in a 15 days time. Okay, what do I do? Okay, then he says, you go and reside in grains. Okay, grains, beans on Ekadashi. Okay, Papa Purusha residing in grains and Ekadashi, and grains and beans. Okay, whoever takes grains and beans on the Ekadashi, they are nothing but they are seeding a sin inside their stomach. So that's why people say that. Scripture says that we should not eat, rice, grains, and etc. Okay. So moving on to Nirjala Ekadashi, again it's a Nirjala Ekadashi. There is another connected, story which is of Bhima. Right? We all know Bhima is very, huge. He is very powerful. He has a strength of 10,000 elephants. Okay, and he also has a great appetite. He can eat huge. Okay. So when Ekadashi Vrat is being followed even during this particular Mahabharata times, okay, all the 4 brothers plus Draupadi, they were able to fast, but Bhima, because he is of too much of hungry, he was not able to hold it. Okay. So he was always in trouble, trying to hold his fast. Then he goes to Vyasadeva and he asks, okay, grandfather, Vyasadeva is the grandfather of Bhima. He asks, okay, I have this problem, I am not able to hold off, what can I do? Can you give me some remedy? Okay. So then Vyasadeva explains, okay, leave all the 24 Ekadashis, all the past ones which you have not done, okay. Do one Nirjala Ekadashi, and in that particular Ekadashi you try to, do a water fast and full fast, only one in a year, then it gives the benediction of all the 24 Ekadashis that we have. Okay. So that's how Nirjala Ekadashi is a prominent. Even people who are not able to do all the Ekadashis, this is one of the Ekadashi which they will try to uphold. So then I will try to go few slides forward. Can you go to the next slide, please? Next one. Yeah, let's stay on this. This is one of the last slide. So what we are trying to say is, don't create a crisis by following Nirjala Ekadashi. Okay. It's a crisis. We don't want anybody to go to hospitals and get admitted into hospital because we need a dry fast, complete dry fast. Okay. So let's try to do a level up. Okay. If you have not done any Ekadashi fast, the right thing is basically start Ekadashi fast on this particular Nirjala Ekadashi. It's very auspicious day. Okay. And at least you try avoiding grains and beans. Okay. But eat everything. Of course, no meat, no egg. Okay. No onion, no garlic. But eat everything. Other than this, you try to start your Ekadashi fasting on this particular Nirjala Ekadashi, which is very common. If you're already doing a regular Ekadashi and you have health is good, okay, you make yourself a level up by not eating anything on the day. Complete fast. Okay. And if you have observed the complete fast in the past, okay, level it up by not drinking the water as much as you can. Okay. See, the more you sharpen the pencil, right, the more sharp it becomes, right? It's not that in one chalk the pencil will not be sharp. Okay, so you need to keep trying until you reach that point. So don't do all of them one shot. Don't try to go all the way till the B mass level. Okay, so start wherever you are, just level it up. Okay, on this particular Nirjala Ekadashi. Okay. By the way, for the Brahmos, I was also checking with other senior disciples. So on Nirjala Ekadashi, so the Brahmins cannot do Achana. Okay, because Nirjala Ekadashi is you should not drink water. So what about Achana? So when I inquired, I was told that Achana is allowed as long as the water is as small as mustard seed. Okay, so that's how it was. They were telling me Achaman is allowed. Okay, but it is towards the Achaman purification of inner. Okay, it is still required before we do any deity worship activities. But if you want to, don't feel that doing an Achaman is a break of the Nirjala Ekadashi. So that's the essence of it. So with that, the last line, the ultimate choice. The ultimate choice is basically take the decisions based on the knowledge. Okay, and the knowledge is already given to us in Bhagavad Gita. Okay, in the 18 chapters, you know it and you make the decisions and believe that we are temporary here, we are not permanent. Okay, and then based on your today's actions, you will have a future consequences, whether it is good or bad. This is definite. Okay, so it's a credit score, it's a karma score. It is independent of banks, independent of lives, whether it is human life, animal life, some other life, it is independent of life. But whatever we do today, we will actually have repercussions, whether it is in a good way or a bad way, in the future. With that, Hare Krishna everyone, thank you very much, and Happy Father's Day for the fathers. Okay, and that's it. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions if you have? Yes, bro. Yes, bro. That's correct.
It's nice that we should have a free time. We should stay there to the next year. We should have a free time.
That's correct. That's correct.
These are the most important activities to do on this.
That's correct.
I think we should organize.
Right.
Big holiday.
Understood, brother. I will probably mind is here. Okay, so we can see what we can do on the temple on Nirjala Ekadashi, whether we can have some kind of a kirtan toward the night. We will probably check and want to say something?
Add some.
Okay.
So, as our speaker said, This coming Thursday is the Virgil Ekadasi. Virgil is not even water. So actually, there are 24 Ekadasis in a regular year. But this year we also have the Purushottama month or the Agit Mass. It is an additional month in the Vedic calendar, and said that the Purushottama month was just concluded. Anyway, Ekadasi is one of the process or system by which we can attain the ultimate goal. So the main topic is the goal, and what is the goal? So the goal is to get out from this. The ultimate goal is to go back to the kingdom of God, to get out from the cycle of birth and death. And what I learned from my spiritual masters that the Ekadasi is one of the process by which we can attain the ultimate goal, because Ekadasi gives a lot of benefits, spiritual and material. In one Ekadasi, which is during Kartik, said that if you perfect the Ekadasi, it's like you're given a planet to own. So that's why if there are 10% of billionaires and trillionaires in the whole universe. And why are they born like that? It's one of the topics that we had. Why they are born like that? Because if you study the Ekadasi stories, it will tell you the benefits, material and spiritual benefits of Ekadasis. And as I said, in one Ekadasi, if you perfect it, it's like you're given a planet to own. What about having an island on Earth, but you're given a planet? So that's what I learned from my spiritual master when he taught me to how to observe Ekadasi. And when you do Ekadasi, you'll have a very healthy body, because you are able to let your organs. When you do Nirjala Ekadasi, the cleansing is in the cellular level, meaning your cleansing, the cleansing of your physical body. So the cleansing is within the cellular level. When you do the grains and beans fasting or abstaining, there is a cleansing within the organs, internal organs. So if you observe Ekadasi, you will have a very healthy body. So during Ekadasis, if you do a half-day fasting during Ekadasi, meaning Nirjala, you gain one-fourth of the benefits, whether it's spiritual or material. When you fast during Ekadasi up to sunset, you get one half. But when you fast the whole 24 hours from sunrise to sunset during Ekadasi, you get the whole benefits of each Ekadasi. So the coming of Ekadasi it is a day to really expect. So one should try to know when Ekadasis are coming. If you eat grains and beans during Ekadasi, then you are eating Papa Purush, meaning the mortal sins which are contained in grains and beans. Sins like killing a Brahmin, having illicit sex with the Guru's wife, and killing a human being. When you kill a human being, you count the number of hairs in the body, that's the number of hairs you stay in heaven. So this coming Ekadasi is very important. If you can observe the Ekadasi by not taking even water 24 hours and then not sleeping, say overnight, then that's the perfection of Nirjala Ekadasi. For this Ekadasi on Thursday, the temple will hold 24-hour vigil. If you want to join us, we will try to observe the not sleeping. Before in San Juan, way back 1986, we used to do that, and devotees were chanting around 60 rounds of Hare Krishna mantra. We are just doing bhajans, chanting, and just reading scriptures during the night. Thank you so much, and I would like to thank our speaker for the very nice lecture and subject matter. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so we have a grand feast waiting, so let's... Focus.